beating your opponents with a comedic finish. Here's your look at the McFarlane Toys Mortal Kombat 11, The Joker. Unpredictable, violent, and incredibly dangerous, the Joker is chaos personified. He's killed a Robin, crippled Batgirl, and tortured and murdered countless people throughout the DC universe. And now he's the latest combatant to join in Mortal Kombat. The Joker is featured in his standard skin as seen in Mortal Kombat 11, as designed with ultra articulation with up to 22 moving parts for a full range of posing. Before we get a closer look at the combatant who's killing it with laughter, how about the first thing we do is grab this ruler of mine and put it as close to Joker's head as I can get it. The figure stands 7.5 inches in height, or 19 centimeters tall. Then to compare the figure with some of the other McFarlane offerings, we can bring in the previously looked at Joker Criminal, a figure that I really did like the head sculpt for. Now, when you do compare the two, it seems like body-wise, they're not using obviously the same bodies, but Joker's not that much different in height from one to the other. We can also bring in Liu Kang. I did want to bring in at least a Mortal Kombat combatant so you can see what Joker looks like next to one of them. And Liu Kang, again, though he's a little bit bigger and bulkier, he's not that much different in size than the Joker we're about to have a look at. Then to the accessories that come included with the Clown Prince of Crime. Starting first, Joker comes included with a Mortal Kombat display stand. It's not necessarily designed specifically for Mortal Kombat. In fact, any one of the other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures or even Spawn figures have also come included with the same type of display stand, other than the fact that they just changed the font down below. I wish they could have actually put also 11 in there as well, matching the logo that would actually be on the game, as opposed to just printing Mortal Kombat. But at least it's something. Take small victories. And don't find fault with it. We're going to move that to the side. The figure actually doesn't even need, really, a display stand anyways. But if you did want to put him in different poses other than just having him standing so vanilla like this, yeah, use a display stand. On to the other things he comes included with. Now, this is, again, a real topic of concern. He comes included with his cane. And I really do have to, again, say, like, the thickness of these accessories, it almost seems as if the accessories are even getting more thicker than they were before. I mean, we have seen batarangs before of sizes so thick it almost looks like they're having frisbees, big, thick frisbees. But, I mean, when you look at the size and thickness of this tiny cane that he's really supposed to be carrying around in his hand, it actually looks less like a cane. It almost looks like he's carrying around a log from a tree. It's exceptionally thick. I don't know why it has to be as thick as it is. The detailing on it is nice. The part that, of course, he can either hold in his hand. You can put his hand on top of here, and it looks like he's actually holding him like a cane. Or you can also have it holding in his hand like this. To take either one of those options, again, you can either take the cane. I kind of like to feed it around this side, this way myself. You can kind of just feed it in between his fingers. It sort of has just a little resting cane. You can also put the cane this way, too. The downside, though, is you're really not going to be able to see his face. But the face of the cane, that is. I kind of like to have it the other way around. Or what I did at the beginning of this review, you have to really pry the fingers away to slide the girth of this all the way through. I mean, for me, like, that's too thick of a cane. I don't know why the reasonings they have to make their accessories so thick. Further, adding on to that, the figure also comes included with a knife. The blade is thick, as well as the handle is thick. It's not painted too bad, but again, why they have to make their accessories so thick? Like, look at the size of this handle, for example. I mean, it doesn't look as bad, to be fair, until you actually get it in Joker's hand. First of all, you're going to notice right away it's harder to get it into his hand. But then once it's in there, it actually looks like he's carrying around toys than actual weapons that he's going to be using in a tournament. But again, he does come included with them. I just really wish the McFarlane Toys would make these a lot thinner than what they're doing right now. Let's take these accessories out of his hand. Put those to the side. We'll come back to those. We'll actually just move the display stand out of the way as well and get a closer look at Joker's face. It does look like the Joker, certainly from Mortal Kombat 11. Sort of the questionable thing that's always been surrounding the Joker from Mortal Kombat is that he does bear some strong resemblance, apparently, to a male adult actor. I'm just going to say that. You can look it up, certainly, if you want. I'm not going to say anything further than that. But then just basically look up Mortal Kombat 11 Joker. And you could probably even put, like, parody Joker, and you'll... Maybe don't even look it up. Don't look it up. But yeah, the face, other than the fact it does look part cosplayer, part adult film star Joker of a parody movie, apparently. It does look good as a Joker. I do like the side profile, for example. And it's one of these times where we actually get a more realistic Joker. I got to admit, I'm not crazy on the design of Joker from the game. I actually liked Mortal Kombat more so, or Joker more so, from the DC Mortal Kombat Versus game than what we actually get here. He kind of looks a little fuller in the face, but I think it does look good as an actual figure. He does have the things that you would expect Joker to have, for example, more the pointed chin, the pointed nose, and higher cheekbones. Those are all the things that make up really Joker. The coloring on his eyes also really goes well, too. Now, he does have this extra paint that's just below his hair. Can you see that right there? I don't know why that had to be there, for example. It doesn't even look like it's really the same coloring as his hair. It almost looks like it's a little bit of extra gray rather than green. The coloring of his hair also is more of a darker swamp green than the more traditional, lighter neon green that Joker's known for. But it kind of works to the idea that this is supposed to be like a living, real Joker, as opposed to a cartoon or comic Joker. His outfit stays pretty true to what you would expect from Joker as well, sort of a frilly top done in a darker green. He has a tailed jacket, although it doesn't have to split down the middle, but that concerns more to the design of Joker. I think actually the figure replicates nicely the way he looks from the game. The jacket is made of a softer material. It doesn't come off. In fact, what it looks like they've actually done is they've attached it here and here, glued it to the top of his torso. So while he does have torso articulation, the jacket pretty much goes along for the ride. He's got a little lapel flower. Oh, no. Don't go and sniffing it too close, just in case there's acid that's going to start squirting out of it. The texturing done to the jacket as well as the frilly shirt does look nice. The paint is pretty good. It does look a little heavily caked here when it comes to his shirt. Like maybe they took one too many passes when it came to the paint. But other than that, it does look quite good. And he also has his pinstripe pants, though they're sculpted more as pinstripes and not actually painted in as pinstripes. Nice texturing also there as well. The footwear is something that I was sort of expecting, spats on the top of Joker's feet. And it does actually look like they've used feet from other Jokers. You can see like there's a little outline right here, where I would imagine this part probably would have been painted white at one point. Instead, they actually just decided to do it in black. Strangely, though, you may also already see what's happened here on my figure. I would imagine it's probably just isolated on this figure and this figure alone. But see on this one side, nice texturing. Yeah, it's pretty good, right? Looks like could be leather footwear. Yeah, sure, okay. When we get to this side, what happened? And again, I would imagine it's probably just on mine. It looks either like it's melted, it's too much plastic, or it's too much paint. I have reason to believe it looks like it was actually melted when it was molded, because this side doesn't look so bad. But this side right here looks like it's just completely melted. Someone took maybe a magnifying glass and took the sun to it. It looks like they just melted the plastic. Unfortunately, it does limit when it comes to the figure's articulation, at least on his feet on this one side, but at least the figure does have toe articulation on the other side. Speaking of articulation, going back to his head sculpt here, we'll start things off with Joker's head. The head rotates comfortably all the way around. Did I even take the chance to show you guys what the head sculpt looks like on the back? Yeah, I think the hair looks nice. Head rotates all the way around. It does look up. It does look down. And yeah, Joker's head can also hinge back and forth too. As for the arms do come out, though it's really tight on this one side. I've already taken the time I thought to heat this up enough, and yet the joint, I think I'm probably going to have to heat it up a little bit more. This other arm works fine. You can see it goes even beyond the point of a 90-degree angle bend. We can also take the arms and rotate them all the way around. The figure has a swivel in his bicep, a double hinge on the elbow. There's one, and get the other one going. There's the other one there. And then the hand also rotates all the way around. As for the upper torso, we already discussed the fact that the jacket's going to go along for the ride. So you can rotate it there. And the figure also seems to have a double hinge joint, a double ball joint. So one at the top and a secondary ball joint at the base. So yeah, it rotates actually just below the pant line here. Legs split out. I can't help but notice too when I'm splitting the legs. Again, I'm drawing everyone's attention to the crotch of Joker here. Here the ratcheted joint. Probably hear it a lot better if I stop talking for a second. There is actually a ratcheted joint on the inside there of Joker's legs. The legs also go forward, the legs go back. Not much really in the way of swivel up the top of the thigh, but the figure does certainly have a double hinge on the knee. And while we pretty much have to right off this side of his foot. Yeah, he does still have the ankle pivot, but boy oh boy, I don't know what's happened to the hand here. The other foot at least does have an ankle pivot. You can move it up and down, and the figure also has toe articulation as well. Nice looking Joker. I almost even would say, like, the Joker figure looks better than he actually does in the game. I'm just not crazy about the look of Joker in the game. I just want to pick up this Joker because I like the idea of having a Mortal Kombat Joker that I can have displayed with the rest of my Mortal Kombat combatants. And even though, yeah, he does look a little bit like, I'm not going to tell you to go look it up, but he does apparently look like a parody Joker. And it wasn't in a comedy either. It's a nice looking Joker. Just not crazy, really, to be fair, about how thick these accessories are starting to get. That cane is way too thick, and I think it could have easily been either 2/3 or even half the thickness of what we actually got right here. I don't know what mandate they have to live up to of having thicker accessories. Maybe they have to for retail releases. And of course, speaking of mandates, this Joker unfortunately also doesn't come included with a pistol or handgun they can have displayed with them either. Joker here was part of the newest wave of Mortal Kombat 11 figures released by McFarlane Toys. The other 3 of the 4 figures, by the way, were repaints of Shao Kahn, a repaint of Liu Kang, and Kotal Kahn. I only ended up picking up Joker for the time being because I considered him to be the all-star of the wave. I did kind of like the look of Liu Kang, to be all honest, in the yellow trunks instead of that burgundy and red trunk that we got in the initial release. And actually, Shao Kahn does look good in the all-silver deco instead, that I might still decide to pick up the other 3 figures. But for the time being, we're just going to look at the Clown Prince of Crime. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. Joker does look good, and speaking again about those repaints, like in traditional fashion from McFarlane Toys, there is, yes, going to be a repaint of the Joker getting released, quote, in a bloodied version, which I'm guessing is just going to be essentially the same figure as what we're looking at already here, just with a whole bunch of blood splattered across his body and his face. I could certainly justify it if they gave him a different head sculpt, but it seems like it's going to be the same head as what we're getting right here, so it's basically just, again, the same figure, just with a bit of blood splattered across his body. Is that really enough to warrant getting another Joker? I think for the time being, I'm settling on just getting the one. Although I say that now, and I'm probably going to still get the bloody Joker. It always happens. I'm probably still going to get the bloody Joker when he eventually gets released. Now, I like the look of this Joker. As I mentioned in this review, I think actually the figure looks better than he does in-game. In the game, he kind of looks like he's an overweight cosplayer. He's a little too round in the face. I think they actually gave him sharper features here on the figure. And if you can kind of overlook the fact that he does have quite oversized accessories. What's again the idea of having these figures with oversized accessories? Like his cane is way too thick. His knife is way too thick. They both look like he's holding kids' toys in his hands and not going to be doing much damage at all. And unfortunately, because again, the mandate of not having guns included with DC figures, Joker, who really could have come included with a gun, unfortunately, sadly, does not come with one. But what do you guys think, though, of the figure of Mortal Kombat 11's Joker? Let me know down below in the comment section. Not a bad-looking figure. For your video question for today, viewing audience, who's your favorite Mortal Kombat character? In fact, like, if you play Mortal Kombat, which is the character that you always pick? That's probably the better question to ask. Let me know down below in the comments section. And hey, now, if you are new to this channel, you're enjoying the content you're seeing, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. Turn on the bell notification so you get those friendly reminders of whenever new videos are going to be popping up. And just as well, keep your peepers peeled. While things have wrapped up here for Joker, there's definitely going to be a lot more McFarlane Toys reviews coming your way. So as always, keep your peepers peeled. As always, guys, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.